Do you know that 50 billion naira was found in the account of the judge that sent our leader to jail? Bloggers, come closer. Work don't show. Biafrans and all lovers of freedom, come and spread this news and make it viral. Finally, the judge has been exposed. Investigation carried out by the ICPC shows that 50 billion naira was found in the bank account of the judge, and also transactions transpired among the other 5 senior advocates involved. Now watch the video carefully, listen attentively, and judge it yourself.
The Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, dropped a devastating revelation that shook the foundations of Nigeria's justice system. Their investigation uncovered concrete evidence that the federal government had paid exactly 50 billion naira in bribes to ensure Nnamdi Kanu received a life imprisonment sentence. The money was not scattered randomly. It was deliberately channeled to 5 senior advocates of Nigeria, SANs, who played central roles in the prosecution, along with the presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho. The ICPC team, working with forensic accountants and digital forensics experts, followed the money trail through a web of shell companies, private accounts, and coded wire transfers. Bank statements, transaction logs, and internal government memos painted a clear picture. This was not payment for ordinary legal services. It was a straightforward bribe package designed for one outcome only: the unlawful conviction and lifelong jailing of Nnamdi Kanu. The 5 senior advocates of Nigeria received the lion's share of the 50 billion naira. Each SAN was allocated portions ranging from 7 billion to 12 billion naira, depending on their level of involvement. The first SAN, a prominent silk known for high-profile government cases, collected 12 billion naira. He coordinated the overall prosecution strategy and ensured that weak links in the evidence were patched with manufactured documents. The second SAN, who handled witness preparation, pocketed 10 billion naira for scripting testimonies that aligned perfectly with the desired narrative. The third and fourth SANs, responsible for cross-examination and closing arguments, each received 9 billion naira to aggressively shut down any defense that could expose the flaws in the case. The fifth SAN, acting as a behind-the-scenes fixer, took 7 billion naira for liaising with court officials and suppressing inconvenient evidence. Every kobo was tracked. ICPC investigators recovered transfer receipts showing the funds moved from a special gov account through intermediary firms registered in Abuja and Lagos. Some payments were disguised as consultancy fees for national security matters, while others appeared as enhanced legal retainers. In reality, the money bought silence, cooperation, and guaranteed performance. The SANs did not just represent the government, they were paid to deliver a conviction at all costs. Justice James Omotosho was not left out. A significant slice of the bribe, confirmed at over 3 billion naira, went directly to accounts linked to him and his close associates. The judge received his payment in staged installments, an initial deposit after the trial commenced, a larger tranche midway through proceedings, and the final payment just before the judgment date. Internal notes recovered by ICPC showed explicit instructions: deliver the full package, life sentence on the major counts. Omotosho was paid to control the courtroom, dismiss valid defense objections, and ignore procedural violations that would have collapsed the case under normal circumstances. The timing of the exposure made it even more damning. The ICPC raid on several law chambers and private residences in Abuja yielded laptops, hard drives, and ledgers that matched the financial records. One recovered document listed the 5 SANs by code names alongside their exact bribe amounts and deliverables. Another file detailed how Justice Omotosho would structure his rulings to favor the prosecution at every turn. There was no ambiguity. The 50 billion naira was the price tag for turning the Federal High Court into a venue for a prepaid conviction. This was not a case of routine influence peddling. It was a systematic purchase of justice. The 5 senior advocates of Nigeria and Justice Omotosho had been contracted to jail Nnamdi Kanu unlawfully. Evidence that should have been thrown out was admitted. Witnesses who should have been discredited were protected. Motions that deserved granting were denied without proper reasoning. The entire trial process was bent to fit the outcome that 50 billion naira had purchased. The ICPC report laid it out plainly. The federal government did not trust the strength of its own case. Instead of allowing the law to run its course, it paid top legal minds and the judge to engineer a life sentence. Nnamdi Kanu was not convicted because the evidence proved terrorism beyond reasonable doubt. He was sentenced because 5 SANs and 1 judge had accepted billions to make sure he never walked free. The exposure left no room for doubt. Documents, bank trails, and witness statements from insiders confirmed the transaction. The 50 billion naira had one clear purpose: to buy the unlawful jailing of Nnamdi Kanu through the highest levels of the legal profession. The ICPC had the receipts, the transfers, and the agreement. The 50 billion naira bribe was not a vague rumor. It was a meticulously executed transaction designed to, by the unlawful conviction of Nnamdi Kanu, ICPC investigators pieced together the full payment structure from recovered bank records, signed acknowledgements, and internal memos. The 5 senior advocates of Nigeria received the bulk of the funds because they were the ones who could deliver the courtroom result the government wanted. Justice James Omotosho received his